Chances are I probably don't need to tell you what this thing is. That is the time machine from Back to the Future, one of the most famous and iconic movie cars of all time. And 40 years ago today, October 26, 1985, Marty McFly would take his first trip back in time to 1955 to kick off the whole series. If you've never seen Back to the Future, do yourself a favor and go back and watch it because it's seriously an amazing movie series. Start at the first one though and work your way through. With it being the 40th anniversary of the day that Marty went back in time and just being a big fan of the movie series, I thought it was appropriate to tell you a little bit about the DeLorean itself and then go into some fun facts that you might not have known about the time machine in the movie. So without all the movie prop bells and whistles, what does the time machine even look like? Well, the car looks like this. This is a 1981 DMC DeLorean, which the time machine was based off of. Founded by former General Motors executive, famous for things like the Pontiac GTO, John DeLorean came up with the DeLorean Motor Company, which manufactured cars from 1981 to 1983. In total, they made about 9,000 units of the DeLorean. For the time these were produced, these were very futuristic whenever they came out. They had a unique body shape, going doors, and then the body was made out of stainless steel as well. Power for the DeLorean came from a 2.8-liter V6 making 130 horsepower and 153 foot-pounds of torque. You could get this with a 5-speed manual or a 3-speed auto, and they would go 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds. To quote Marty from the movie, why would you build a time machine out of a DeLorean? It's actually a very valid question. They weren't very reliable, they weren't fast, but they did look wild for the time. There was not another car around, and there's still only one that has a stainless steel body, and it just really fit the movie in my opinion. Let's go ahead and jump into the 5 quick facts you might not have known about the DeLorean from Back to the Future. The speedometer in the movie was faked. It showed that the DeLorean had a 95-mile-an-hour speedometer, which was not true. In 1981, when the car was produced, they actually had 85-mile-an-hour speedometers. But in order to travel back in time, they chose 88 miles an hour, so they needed that 95-mile-an-hour showing on the speedometer to give you the illusion or the effect of the car doing 88. Even though the DeLorean is an American automotive company, the cars are actually produced in Ireland and shipped over here. The exhaust note of the DeLorean was added in post-production because the producers did not like the sound of the 2.8-liter V6 that the DMCs came out with originally. The gull-wing doors, however, was actually how they sounded. One thing that I found kind of funny was Ford actually reached out to the producers of Back to the Future to see if they would want to replace the DeLorean with a Mustang, where the producers basically told them to screw off and that Doc doesn't drive a Mustang, which kind of makes sense. Lastly, one of the original movie cars still exists, and it actually is in the Peterson Automotive Museum. Just like that license plate says, I'm out of time. If you guys have any cars you want me to cover, leave them down in the comments below. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.